Barak Shalom, everyone. It's Out the Box Kingdom. Talk with me, Out the Box Kingdom. I hope you all are having a wonderful, wonderful yum. I just wanted to come on here right quick because Abba Yahuah has had me in a place of just going back and reading things of the Old Testament. I stay in the Old Testament. I can't even tell you the last time I've been in the New Testament. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here, and this is just, words of encouragement, especially the fact that it is so much chaos going on in the world. There's wars, rumors of wars, and so-called rumors of reparations and all these other things, all kind of distractions to try to get you distracted from the word, or should I say the promises of Yah, or being in a solitude, consecrated place to receive the very instructions from the Ruach HaKodesh, right? Which is very vital. And unfortunately, we're going to have some, they're waiting for the reparations, but there's going to be a cost of those reparations versus just being obedient to the Most High Yahuah and allow Him to restore you and your land, because that He said, you turn back to me and I will restore you. And, as I was sitting here talking to Yah, when Yah spoke a thing, the evidence came right after. And He's not a man that He should lie. And I get it. Some of us has been waiting 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, 5 years for things for Yah to come through. And see, Yah does not have to prove us anything. But what He is He's all about integrity. So if He has told us something, it shall surely come to pass, but it's not going to be in our perfect timing, or what we think is a perfect time, or the way we thought it was supposed to be. See, I notice, or I'm coming to understand when things seem like there is no way, or there is no way out, when you're just in dire need, or you've done everything you can do and you have nothing left in you. It's like your strength has left you. This is when Yah comes in and does the most miraculous thing. Okay? Now, I didn't really have a title for this message, but what I want y'all to really hear, what I'm saying is, a hard reset is not a failure. It's the start of a brand new beginning. And it's a better beginning, right? And the reason why I say this is because a lot of us has had to do a hard reset in our life several times. And when I say this, a lot of us feel like when we have to go back to a place of old, as in back home around our relatives, that is a sign of failure. When sometimes Yah will send you back to a place so you can regroup, so you can have help, but also so you can have rest and support, that when He feels like you're strong enough, guess what? You will leave again, right? Because you're called to be set apart from your family, right? But however, when it comes to Yusef's story, because I really paid attention to his story today. Yah would have you to go back, because I was going to start at Exodus, but Yah was like, no, go to Yusef's story. And we know that Yusef had a dream. He shared it with his brothers, and they could have been happy for him, right? Now, we saying, oh, Yaakov loved Yusef because he was just his favorite, but no, Yusef was an example that Yaakov was still fruitful when it comes to producing seed, right? Because he came at his later age. Now, people say, oh, it's because Yusef came from Raquel, and we get it. Yaakov loved Raquel. Yes, he did. But it's just like we have to look at it as, when Isaac and even with Abraham, when they had their children, they were at a later age. So that was a representation of the fruit of their seed. You know what I'm saying? And so, Yusef, on the other hand, because his dad loved him, not saying that he didn't love his other sons, but it was just something about Yusef that he just loved him. Yusef will come back and always give like an evil report about his brothers, right? So there was a humbling that had to take place when it came to Yusef. Sometimes we can get very prideful, and then, because he started having those dreams, oh, y'all gonna bow down to me. So he got probably very arrogant and very prideful, and I'm daddy's, favorite, da-da-da. Well, remember, we know the scripture that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but we also know the scripture about the adversary goes around like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour. Now, the only way that the adversary can devour an individual is if the Most High gives him permission. Okay? Now, he could afflict Job, but he could not devour him, which was completely destroy him. Now, for those that have read the Apocryphas, we know that there came a time when the Most High gave Satan, or should I say the adversary, his book of people who he can devour. He said, do whatever you want to do with them. And then the Most High had his book, but then there was an extra book of the possibilities. Those that there's a possibility that they may turn back to the Most High. Okay. We know those that's going to be devoured is those that's in a great delusion right now that think they're doing things in a way of Abba Yahuah, and they're not. Right? And those, unfortunately, are the ones that's going to receive turn away from me. I never knew thee. Okay. So back to what I was saying. So when it came to Yusef was, wandering because he was looking for his brothers. But, unfortunately, he wanted to find his brother so he can go back and give an evil report again. But this time the Most High is like, now your process is getting ready to begin. Of course, they threw him down a cistern where there was no water. So Yusef was not filled spiritually. But then they was going to plot to kill him, but Reuben said, no, let's not kill him, but let's just put him down here until the next day. But of course, his brothers sold him into slavery. Now, this is what I love about the Most High. If y'all remember in Exodus, the Most High would tell Moshe, go deliver my people, but oh yeah, you're going to tell Farah to let my people go, but I have purposely hardened his heart towards you. Right? So with Yusef, if you think about it, the Most High hardened his brother's heart, because remember, jealousy and envy will harden the heart towards harden the heart of a person towards another individual for no reason. You'll have people to tell you that they just don't like you and they don't know why they don't like you. Right? And the adversary can get in them and influence them, but Yah is still going to use it for his purpose, right? So his brothers throwing him down in the pit was a metaphor, you might as well say, of the things that was going to come, which was him being thrown into the prison. Okay? The pit. Okay? You calling and asking for people for help and they're not going to help you. They're going to sell you to someone else. I'm the one that's going to deliver you out of the pit. I am the one that's going to deliver you out of your prison. I am the one that's going to promote you, says Yahuah. That's how he works, right? To break you out of you being dependent on man to promote you or to deliver you out of a situation. Because even his word says that when you go into slavery, no man will buy you. Okay, that tells you right there. Let's keep going. So we know Yusef gets sold to the Ishmaelites, which is so interesting that is relatives, right? Get sold into slavery to Mitsrayim, which Mitsrites are technically the Shemites' relatives because they come from Ham. Okay. So, he gets there, he goes through his process, he, has favor with men, and then he gets falsely accused, get thrown into prison. Still got to help Farah's people in the prison, right? But then his time, a promotion comes when the cupbearer finally remembers, oh, there's a person that his name is this, he's able to interpret dreams, right? So the very spiritual gifting that the Most High gave Yusef was, and it was the Most High orchestrating that to bring back to the cupbearer's remembrance, because Yusef said, hey, remember me when you get promoted so you can get me out of here. But once again, that was Yah breaking the dependency on man to get him out of his situation, right? But however, Yah brought back remembrance to the cupbearer in the appointed time. And this was where the promotion, it didn't come from Yosef's talents. It came from the spiritual gifts that the Most High placed in him. Because he said, don't interpretations and dreams come from the Most High Yahuah? Tell me your dream. And Yah gave him the interpretation, right? And that's what happened with Farah, right? Now, the wonderful thing about Yosef's story is when Yosef, and I'm going to go, I want y'all to, because I'm going to give y'all the reference. And so this is in chapter 45 in Bereshith, right? And it says, and I'm going to go ahead and read it. It says, and Yosef was unable to restrain himself before all those who stood by him. And he called out, have everyone go out from me. So no one stood with him while Yosef made himself known to his brothers. And he wept aloud, and the Mitsrayim and the house of Farah heard it. And Yosef said to his brothers, I am Yusef. Is my father still alive? But his brothers were unable to answer him, for they trembled before him. And they had the fear of Yahuah in them by that time. Then Yosef said to his brothers, please come near to me. And when they came near, he said, I am Yosef, your brother, whom you sold into Mitsrayim. And now do not be grieved nor displeased with yourself, because you sold me here. For Aluah sent me here before you to preserve High, which is life in Hebrew. Now, and that is verse number 4. So by this time, Yosef has shown spiritual maturity. You know what I'm saying? And he's telling those that have betrayed him, do not be grieved nor displease yourself, because yes, you sold me here, but Aluah sent me here. So even though you did this to me, now I understand it was all Aluah's plan for me to be here to preserve life. Okay? So this is where Yah is going to bring a lot of healing into our lives. This is part of the reset, the heart reset. Instead of you looking at those that betrayed you in a very envious or in a victim mindset, you will see how Yah allowed it to happen. Just like if you have friends that betray you, all of a sudden, especially a group of women, and all you wanted friendships, and all of a sudden they said they didn't like you, and you just separated yourself from them. Just imagine if the Most High had allowed you to stay in that group. See where those women are right now, and their attitude is probably stank or something, and that just wasn't you. Same as vice versa with men, right? You have women constantly sabotaging you, so instead the Most High allowed it to be a heartbreaking betrayal for you to keep moving. You know, prime example, the same thing as in if you had a high school sweetheart and he betrayed you some type of way, and you was like, but I thought he was going to be my husband. But imagine if the Most High had allowed you to get married to him. If he betrayed you, then what kind of betrayals would he have done if y'all had became one? And then you're looking at an unnecessary divorce. I'm not going to say it's unnecessary, but you get what I'm saying. So in the great, or what we say good, or tabal in Hebrew, and the bad, the Most High is still working behind the scene. That's why Yusef said, whatever the enemy meant for evil, Yah turned it around for greatness, right? In the great and in the bad, Yah still orders the righteous or the chosen ones or the engrafted ones' steps back to him, right? But as you mature and you grow and you allow the Most High to reset, do a hard reset with your mindset, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, you'll start looking at it in the way that Yusef did. Now, we're going to go into verse 6. For 2 years now, the scarcity of food has been in the land, and there are still 5 years in which there is neither plowing or harvesting. So once again, we don't know what kind of spiritual gifts that the other 11 had, but Yusef had the gift of interpreting dreams. He had dreams, but then Yah gave him the interpretation of dreams, right? And so he had to be sent, and it was not in a very glamorous way he got sent to Mitsrayim. He had to start from the bottom, right? He had to be humbled. He had to see what kind of people he was going to be dealing with. Self-righteous people that didn't even believe in the Most High Yah. They believe in idol worship and all this stuff, but look at what their GODs brought in the land. They had 7 years of abundance, but eventually they went into scarcity, which is what's going to happen here in all the lands that got idols and stuff. But however, the children of Yashrael and the engrafted ones going to be like they're in Goshen. It don't matter where you at. Okay? But if Yusef had not been set apart and he was still with amongst his brothers, they all would have starved. So someone had to go. And the Most High chose Yusef to go. So what I'm saying, for a lot of you that's been wanting your families to go with you, those that I'm talking to those right now that the Most High has called you to be a pioneer. He's told you that you're going to help deliver your people. Like Yusef, like Daud, like Samson, like let's see, Moshe, all them, you know what I'm saying? They didn't have people to go with them when their process started. You know, when they had people around them, when their process ended and they was in their position and it was time for them to bring the people out, right? So when it came down to Yusef, and I saw this, I said, you know, I love this because this shows Exodus was not the first Exodus out of a situation. The Exodus mostly was a second Exodus into a promised land. The first one was with Yusef, right? But if you want to get hypothetical with it, y'all is always doing a hard reset. Every time the adversary trying to rebuild something, the Most High come and tear it down. Like he did with the Tower of Babel. But anyway, Noah was a hard reset. When he was building the ark, there's a flood coming. Get your 8 people, get your cattle, preparation. And he was building. And he tried to warn the people too. But they didn't want to listen, so they got wiped out by the flood. That was the first reset. The second reset, or should I say Exodus, was Yusef with his family, because Yusef was sent before them to be placed in a place of authority next to Farah. And the Most High made sure that Yusef had favor with Farah. Even though Farah said, I'm over you, technically Yusef was over him spiritually, because Yusef was walking with Yah. Farah was getting all his power from High Satan. You know what I'm saying? And so, but remember in scripture, if you go back and read in and Yashrael, the Most High is going to pretty much tear down Mitsrayim, but rebuild them back up by healing them. So there's a preservation when it comes to Mitsrayim, okay, the Mitzrites. So remember that, okay. So there was a preserving of people even in Mitsrayim. Most High, and he does say in Yashrael that he's going to tear down their idols, they're going to burn down everything, and they're going to turn back to him, and he's going to heal them after he has afflicted them for a while. So this is why we didn't see Mitsrayim being completely destroyed, but those rulers that he purposely hardened their hearts so they can destroy themselves, those are the ones that the Most High is going to get rid of, because them the ones that have the most influence, just like what we're going through with these GOVs. Okay. So what I loved about Yusef situation, the Most High placed in that position, he got to learn the system. He got placed in the position of authority. And because he had the gift, or was given the gift of interpretation of dreams, he got to learn before and ahead of time before it came. That way when his brothers came and he revealed himself to his brothers, that he can tell them what was going on and say, if you stay in the land of Canaan, y'all gonna perish if y'all don't come here where I am at, where I can give you the resources you need. And instead of them resisting them, he sent, to go back to get his dad. He had to send proof, because they could have went back and told their dad, and he would have been like, y'all lying to me. Y'all told me my son was dead. Y'all ain't got no proof. But they spoke it, and then the proof came, right? What I loved about it is when it came to the time to go back and retrieve their family, they didn't go back empty-handed. See, Yusef had so much favor with Farah. Farah was like, I'm going to give you a command. Make sure you take the wagons. Give them wagons so they can transport their wives and children and your father here. And he gave them new garments and food for their journey. See, when it's time to transition to new things, y'all gonna make sure you are reloaded. Even though you may go through a hard reset, when it's time for your next journey, it seems like you done lost everything in that hard reset. But when it's time for your next journey, y'all gonna make sure you don't leave empty. He gonna make sure you got transportation. He gonna make sure you have favor with even those you would least expect to have favor with, because like I said, Farah didn't believe in the Most High. You know what I'm saying? But he knew that Yusef was a man of wisdom, so he had trust in him, right? But however, it's the people you would least expect that the Most High will use, even in the place of Christianity and non-believers. But Yah can use anybody to give you the supplies that you need. Not saying they have a hidden agenda. This is why you got to discern, Yah, did you use them? Did you send them? Right? But what I'm saying is, the Most High provided them with what they needed. They did not leave there empty. Each man got changes of garments, which is new garments, right? Because they was not about to go into their promised land with sackcloth. They was going in with a changing of garments, bro. But Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of garments. So you might as well say Benjamin got like double portion. He got money and he got garments. But they had grains, donkeys loaded with grains and bread and food for his father for the journey, because it was a very, it was a long way. You know what I'm saying? And so if we think about that, you fast forward into Exodus. The Most High made Mitsrayim suffer so bad that they was begging for Yashrael to leave, because their firstborn was getting killed. They had all these plagues coming to land. However, the Most High intentionally still hardened Pharaoh's heart, because he was going to destroy Pharaoh. Like what Moshe said, you will never see your enemies again. Yeah, you won't see your enemies again unless you turn from the Most High Yahuah, and you're going to see them again, right? But as long as you're walking with the Most High will take out your enemies for you. He will fight for you, right? But he will supply what you need for your journey, right? So when it came down to Yah's word being spoken, or Yosef giving his brother the word, and they was trying to tell Yaakov what his son had said, he didn't believe them until he saw the wagons. And that's why I said the Most High, when he speak words that's coming forth, there's not going to be a delay in his words. So just brace yourself, those that are listening. Whatever the Most High has spoke to you, if he says something is coming, if he telling you to leave your job, whatever it is, Yah's word is not going to fall to the ground. When it comes to warning, don't get caught up in that judgment. Move when he say move. But however, those when he says this is getting ready to come for you soon, it's not going to be the way you think it is. It's not going to be like how it was last year or a couple of years ago. It's going to be very different, because like he said, forget the former events of old. I'm doing a new thing. He's doing a new thing. He's doing, because he don't want us to put him in a box, or how he's going to deliver us, or how this second exodus is going to be, or how your exodus is going to be, because a lot of us is experiencing exodus every day. When you're leaving, when he opens the door for you to get out of one toxic job and he baruk you with another job where he's giving you favor, that's an exodus. When you are in a toxic relationship, domestic violence or something like that, he makes a way. That's an exodus. When, like I said, when he tells you to leave a job and he said, go ahead and start that business you've been working on, I'm going to baruk your hands, because I'm the one that gives the ability gives you the ability to make wealth. Your talents will make room for you. And all of a sudden your business is taking off, because he's showing you have that gift, or has appointed you and called you to be an entrepreneur, to not just build and get money for yourself, but to rebuild the kingdom of Abba Yahuah, to begin to rebuild the wall or the house of Yashrael. Okay? So, but however, what I'm saying with Yosef, and I guess this message is for those that's called to be pioneers. Because in scripture it tells us not to call ourselves leaders. But you get what I'm saying. People that the Most High has appointed to lead people out of their oppression, to help with the deliverance of his people. You know who you are. You don't have to come in the comment box or anything like that and say, that's who I am. You know what I'm saying? You've been in that set apart process. You never fit in. You will tell people your dreams and they will be envious of you. And some of them have cursed your dreams. They've been hoping to destiny swap or kill your dreams, to become dream assassins. But they can't kill what the Most High has already spoken about you. That's something that the Most High Yahuah has spoken over you. They can try, but it's not going to prevail, because that's why he said, no weapon formed against you shall not prosper, and every tongue that rises up against you shall be and will be condemned. The people in the world, let's deal craftily with them so they can't increase in number. And every time they turn around, when a pandemic comes, just like this whole HIV pandemic didn't happen, there's been an increase of number, yes, of HIV victims, but I guarantee you there's going to be an increase of pregnancies in melanated people. See, you can't wipe out a nation that the Most High has his hands upon. Only he can do that. Yah did that with a flood, but he promised that he would not do another flood, but this time it's going to be with fire. But however, for those that are called to be like Yosef, like Daud, like Moshe, whether you're a female or a male, okay? Or should I say an Akuti or Ak, right? Mishpacha, listen to what I'm saying. When it came to the children of Yashrael, the Most High, you even used the oppressors, for whoever was called to be a pioneer, gave them so much favor that the oppressors said, Give them the best of the land. And that's where they was at. They was in the best of the land. They was still on the outskirts of Mitsrayim, where all that chaos was going on. They were in Goshen. And they flourished. So, unfortunately, when that Farah died, the new Farah came, and he became envious of them that they was multiplying in number. But instead, he said, let's deal craftily with them. Let's destroy them through giving them hard work. And the Most High heard the cries of his children. And he gave someone, once again, that was in the system, this time born in the system, or raised up in the system, still next to Farah, because, Farah's sister or daughter, I think it's sister. No, I think it was daughter. But anyway, but he was raised up in the system. Even though he was raised in the system, his blood was still Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? But he had to go through a hard reset for him to remember. You cannot, you can't take vengeance in your own hand, but you cannot do things the Mitsrayim way to deliver your people. And that's what, like, these celebrities, when they start finding out the truth and they call themselves exposing or fighting against the industry, this is how they get wiped out, because they still, and you can't do that. You got to be completely out. Right? Forsaking the world to follow Yah. That when you go back in to deliver your people, the adversary don't have nothing on you. There is no weaknesses in you. All you have is the strength. All in you internally is all Abba Yahuah and influenced by the Ruach HaKodesh. Okay. So when it came to Moshe, he had to start his hard reset. Yah allowed him to kill the Mitsrayim so it can be reported to Farah. And he left. He got driven out, you might as well say, out of that land. Went into the wilderness. Met his wife, because they was being oppressed. Got welcomed into the home, which was his future family, Mishpacha. Married. Had an encounter with the Most High through the burning bush. Told him, you gonna deliver people. And he's like, nope, I got a speech impediment, But see, y'all don't make no mistakes. Your limitation, look, y'all gonna put his words in your mouth, because you may stutter, but when it's time for that word to get through, the Most High gonna have it come out just as plain and clear. Okay? Jeremiah, who was just a youth, and said, I'm just a youth, but the Most High said, I'm gonna put my words in your mouth, and he was speaking, thus says Yahuah. So let me tell you something. It don't matter what your excuses are. Even with Yonah gave the Most High every excuse, and he ran, and Yah still got his way. When Yah has called and chosen you for his divine assignment, you can't run from that. And he knows how to humble you and sit you down somewhere until you've gone through your process, and then he's still gonna send you. Okay, back to what I'm saying. So when it comes to the Exodus, the moral of the story is, Yah is going to give you the best. We all got to get out of this poverty mindset that humility means taking the leftovers. Remember, Mephibosheth and Daud. Daud did not forget his covenant with Jonathan before Jonathan died, right? And he said, is there an heir left? And there was Mephibosheth. Remember, Mephibosheth was disabled, right? But Daud kept his word with Mephibosheth and reinstated him to eat at the table, and he was able to eat the best. You are called to be the head and not the tail. He said, above and not beneath. If you look in Deuteronomy 28, that is the word. But those that's under the curses, you are going to be the tail and not the head. Those that you was once serving you, they will rule over you. But when it comes to you, chosen one or engrafted one, whoever you are, you getting ready to receive the best of the land, wherever the Most High has ordered your steps. Remember, the word says, wherever I have placed your foot, I have given you the authority to reign and rule in that place. Look, that's just my summary. Go back and read that scripture for yourself. But wherever he has you to your foot to tread, he's giving you authority in that place. He's given it to you as a possession, but you must do it his way. Not what Christianity has taught you or anything, because that's going to bring unnecessary warfare. But there's a way of being fruitful and multiplying and subduing the land. But you have to ask Abba Yahuah to give you instructions and be led by the Ruach HaKodesh to teach you how to do it. Whether it's you taking up a course or new skills or whatever it must be, let his will, like Miriam said, when a messenger came and told her she was going to get impregnated by the Ruach HaKodesh to have Yahushua Mashiach. At first she questioned, but then she said, whatever Aluah's will is, let his will be done. She didn't question it. Let it be so. Let it be so. And so, y'all that are called to be pioneers, Yah is going to take care of your family. And you do have to go before them. So if they are part of the remnants, that they will be spared. It's not just your talents that's going to make room for you, but it's the very gifts that the Most High has in you that he's going to use those people that you have spoken his word to. You think they have forgotten about you, but there's going to come an appointed time. Yah is going to have them to remember you. Okay? And don't be surprised if they're a bridge to a person in authority, that this person, just like the Queen of Sheba, mind was so blown that Yah is even going to have their hearts to give you favor, that whatever resources you may be lacking in, they will be willing to give it to you, because that's all Yah's divine plan. Remember, Yah is in control of everything. Now, if they try to get you to come in, and covenant vow or something like that, then that's not of Yah, because he tells us not to get involved in that. But Yah is in control over everything. Yahuwah himself, he's the one that orders the steps of the lawful ones, right? He can use any person he wants to give you the supplies that you need or the connections you need to get to the, point A to point B. But what I saw today is in Bereshith 45 and even in Exodus, that the children of Yashrael, whether it was to Goshen, which was their temporary promised land at that time being, and then back to the land of Kenan of their inheritance, they did not leave there empty. The first time that Farah was willing to give them the supplies they need, but the second time, because that one was hard-hardened towards the children of Yashrael, they was forced to give them their possessions. So at the end of the day, they got the best. They weren't lacking nothing. They got silver and gold, food, whatever it was given to them freely. They didn't have to steal. They didn't have to kill, because Yah was doing the killing. They didn't have to destroy, because Yah was doing the destroying. But you get what I'm saying. So, on that note, as this hard reset or this whole new world order is going on, do not be fearful of it. Don't try to hold on to the old things, because it's going to rust away anyway. However, the new and approved things that the Most High is going to baruk you with, you got to get out of that poverty mindset. Because at some point in time in history, the children of Yashrael was prosperous. They were abundant. They were successful. They was productive. We see this throughout history all the time, that they try to erase. They can't erase what the Most High has established. They can try to whitewash it, but the truth's still going to come forth anyway. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to come forth even more rapidly. We see that the true healers in the medical industry were Hebrew people. And this is not a color thing. This is just the truth, though. Melanated people weren't allowed to put their money in the bank. They weren't allowed to get homes. They weren't allowed to read and write. They wasn't allowed in the schools. But then, somewhere down the line, the Ruach HaKodesh influenced them and said, why not build your own? and it flourished. But what messed them up is when the adversary made them think they was lacking something, and they shook hands with the oppressors and allowed them in. And instead of discerning, they saw where the weaknesses are, and they came in and destroyed it by floods to non-existence. Now we got highways and everything covering up those things. You know what I'm saying? But all praise to the Most High Yahuah. He's rewriting the narrative. See, we all in Yahuwah's movie. Okay? Whether you're going to be on team A or B. You know, in the movies, them superhero movies, they like to make the villains seem like, and it's sad because actually the villains is, yeah, we ain't going there because I don't do superhero movies. But you get what I'm saying. Hollywood always got to give their narrative of the end times when it comes to their so-called superhero movies. But at the end of the day, Yahuwah is going to win. And he's going to take care of his remnant. So on that note, my apologies for the long message. I was trying to do it short, but you cannot quench the Ruach HaKodesh and what he's saying. There was a lot of nuggets in this video. I hope it has baruked you, but the Most High wants you to know that he, for those that are called to be pioneers, you're going to be sent before your family. But when it's time for you to go back and get your family, you're going to be able to provide them with the resources they need to get to where you're at, those that are willing to leave. You're going to have some, they're going to be like Lot's wife that's going to look back and they turn into a pillar of salt, unfortunately. But just know that when this hard reset comes, if they try to get rid of Medicare and stuff like that, so what? The Most High is your healer. He's your comforter. He's your deliverer. He's all the things that man wants us to bow down to and think that they are all powerful, when the Most High is the all powerful Almighty. Just like they have dug up all the fruit trees. If the Most High want to, he can sit up there and overnight all of us have fruit trees in our yard. And it didn't require us to plant no seed. And actually, that's in the Apocryphas, by the way. When times get really hard, y'all, and it seems like it's no food, y'all gonna have the arrest to yield up fruit trees. That's in the Apocryphas. So, on that note, don't get arrogant, but rejoice, because the Most High has so much wonderful things in store for his remnant. You're not gonna lack any great thing. You're gonna become the head and not the tail, above and not beneath. Wherever it is you need to go, Yah is going to supply your every needs financially. He going to provide the transportation, the new garments, and some money. And this is why, I in a sense, I don't like it when there are teachings out there that said, tell Yah how much money you want or what you need. You don't tell Yah nothing. Yah gives you stuff according to what he feel like you deserve or what he feel like you can handle that season. He supplies your every needs according to his riches in Yahusha Mashiach. Not what we are requesting for. He knows how much our bills is. He knows what all we need. But he also got to test our heart posture too. Are we going to complain when we still receiving a little? Because if we complaining when we receiving a little, just imagine when he baruk us with much. Are we going to be trying to spend on lost times and mess around and splurge the money that he's baruked us with, which is supposed to be for kingdom building? Or are you going to rejoice because you're able to have food, right? Or you got support, as in, a woman, you trying to build your business and you have a husband that he does not complain, that when you come up short financially, he's there to cover you. You know what I'm saying? That situation, you're still covered. So those that are dealing with, your mother staying with you and you got a husband or whatever, don't look at that as a burden. That is your support system. As long as y'all getting along and y'all sharing amongst each other, that's your support system. That's a 3-4 cord. Ain't nobody lacking nothing. If y'all lacking, y'all lacking together, but y'all still got some encouragement some type of way. Okay? And it's going to come to that again. We got to begin to pull out for family structures to be rebuilt according to the ways of Yah. Because a man alone cannot survive. It ain't no such thing as no Lone Ranger. You got to have community. You got to have family. Mishpacha. You got to have family. You got to. You may get annoyed because some of them ain't walking in the ways of Yah, but it's in his appointed time, not when you want it. But when you start focusing on it and micromanaging the Most High, that's when they're gonna be in their positions, ready to go. So on that note, I hope this word of encouragement has encouraged you all that are tuning in and listening. I know when I sat here and I was reading this, I was like, this is wild. The first Exodus started with Yusef, really. But Yah has a way for everything, and it was just an eye-opener what he was saying. Yeah, y'all sold me, but it was all Aluah's plan. Every process that you've gone through this season or the seasons in your life throughout the years, it's been all Yahuah's plan. The adversary, like I said, don't have power at all. He can only do what Yah allows him to do. And that is either depending on what is written in the book of High. You either preserve, but the adversary is used to test you. So Yah can rebuild you, or he's going to devour you, and that's those that's wicked. They're just going to be wicked. Their hearts are hardened towards the Most High. So that's it. Choose life today or death, or choose barukings or curses. That's in scripture. It's no in between. There's no such thing as lukewarm. That's why Yahushua said, I prefer you to be hot or cold, because if you were lukewarm, I would spit you out like vomit. Can't be double dutching in this high. Or should I say life? You got to pick and choose. So on that note, y'all all be baruked as always. It's always a pleasure speaking with y'all, and I hope this has baruked you, as in giving you fresh revelations or connecting things that you didn't see before, but that you can go back and read. And it really encourages you to go back and read for yourself, because that's what we're supposed to do. But most importantly, go back and seek the Most High and get instructions from him. Those that are definitely called to be pioneers on things, whether it's new inventions or whatever it is, or just in your family, you're called to be the generational curse breaker, right? You're going against the grain of tradition, religion, and culture, what we've been brainwashed to believe is us, and it's not. Especially if you go back and read the book of Maccabees, you'll start seeing a whole bunch of stuff. But on that note, stay plowed up, stay in the presence of Yahuah, and focus on things. And another thing I want to keep y'all in mind, take a break from technology. Take a break from social media. The answers you're looking for is in the book. And whatever it is that the Most High wants you to do is probably in books. If you want to invest in anything, if you don't have the money for school right now, and you don't want a student loan or anything, wherever it is your passion or your heart's desires is in, get books relating to that field, so you can have an understanding that when he opens the door, at least you're prepared, and at least you are acquainted in the sense of how that field operates. And so, and then go back, read the word, and see what the Most High gives you, a revelation. You know what I'm saying? Because we all have fields that we're called into, whether it's arts and entertainment, media, government. And I'm not talking about that government, but if you think about it, government was the kings and the appointed judges and the priests in scripture, the Louis or Luites. Then you had the prophets, then you had teachers. What are you called to teach? Some of y'all are great with culinary arts. You want to start your culinary arts business. Well, look up, get books. You can't go to school right now, but there's plenty of books out there that can help you. Yah always has a way for everything. Remember, a lot of us cannot go to the prestige institutions. We had to start our own. And how was that started? We had to read books. Take a break and go to the library and just read. All right. So y'all be baruked. As always, love y'all much, and I'll see you next time on Out the Box Kingdom Talk with me, Out the Box Kingdom. Barak Shalom.